I'm Kirsty Ross. I'm a design academic within the Innovation School at Glasgow School of Art, and I'm a lecturer in the Department of Product Design, and I'm the academic lead for Collaborative Futures.
I'm Marianne. I'm a research fellow at the Innovation School, and this is the second year I've been involved in the Collaborative Futures project as the embedded researcher. So I suppose in parallel to supporting in the delivery of the project with Kirsty and Stevie, I've also been researching the underpinning process and pedagogical model for the project as well.
I'm Stevie McGowan. I'm the lead at the Centre for Civic Innovation at Glasgow City Council. I'm a designer tasked with tackling city challenges and using a design-led approach to creative problem solving.
This is the seventh successive year that Collaborative Futures has existed as part of the final year curriculum for the Masters of European Design students at GSA. And it's the second year that we've had the privilege of working with the Centre for Civic Innovation at Glasgow City Council. So this year's project, the brief, evolved quite naturally through conversation together, the three of us, during the summer, in the kind of 3-month lead up to the project launching in the autumn. And so this year's brief, which was to explore the future of social innovation and participatory democracy in 2030, in relation to Glasgow's future stories, emerged out of the experience and understanding of working together last year, and from the project's outcomes and how we could actually build on those, especially in terms of the design's power to tell stories. And we wanted to look at the brief from two perspectives. So looking at citizen-centred engagement, which is the CCI team's focus for their practice, but also to complement that by looking at place-based innovation. So we felt that there was something very complementary about looking at the brief from those two lens perspectives.
Our role around tackling problems in the city is using design, as I said earlier, and in particular trying to work in partnership with academics in one case, with citizens absolutely in another, and also with industry partners. And our role really is, I suppose, as well as solving problems, is about trying to develop new ways of working for the city and building knowledge and capacity and new skills really. So over the piece, we've been working for the last 3 years with the art school on and off as one of our academic partners. And really what we were aiming to get there was not only kind of opening up practitioners within the City Council's knowledge to different ways of working and different design proposals, but also to look at how can we shape the future of Glasgow really and the people who are living in it. Very often designers come out of the art school and have to move down to London and other places to apply their skills, and really what we want to do, we passionately believe that design is the way forward for bringing everybody to the table to design the Glasgow that we all want.
So as Kirsty said, this project's taken place over the last few years. We're now in the 7th iteration of the project, and this really builds on Kirsty's model. It's a 3-phased approach for the students and graduates to engage in essentially the first phase being design research, undertaking a period of desk research, really getting to understand deeply the context that they're working in. This is followed by a phase of designing and engaging. So here our student and graduate team go out into the communities and engage with participants. Obviously this year we've had a lot of challenges in light of COVID-19, and I think the team has really risen to these challenges in terms of looking at innovating their practices and around how we can design innovative approaches to digital and remote engagement. So that's been really exciting for Kirsty and me to see this year and research that as well. I suppose from a research perspective, what we're very interested in is really understanding the multidisciplinary nature of collaboration and developing, I suppose, a more nuanced understanding of the conditions that really are required for successful collaboration, and looking at then the mediating role design can play within that. That also then leads us on to the final phase of the project, which is all about delivery for the student graduate team. And here, there's a series of deliverables that students need to produce for our partner team. What I think is really unique about this project for the student learning experience, and something that Kirsty and I have been researching, is how what this project seeks to really emulate is a professional studio environment. And this comes at a really crucial point in the year for the master students, as they're just about to embark on their careers post-graduation. So I suppose it's an opportunity for them to really gain a lot of transferable skills in terms of design research, ethics, collaboration and participation, assets which I think they'll be able to really take into their careers in industry or in academia, or if they choose for further studying.
The benefits to CCI of the programme, there's a number of them really. The first thing I suppose we were looking for was new, fresh ideas. CCI have a number of young people within our team, and we've used a sort of graduate model to grow the team in the past. And the thing that they bring, while they don't have experience in the field, they always have brilliant ideas, and working with the guys in the art school team is a way of opening up people at CCI to new ideas, new opinions, and new methodologies. In particular, this year we've used it to try and develop our team dynamic. So not everyone in CCI is a designer. We have researchers, we've got data scientists, we've got business experts. And in particular, we're looking to go into a kind of new phase of work within the community. And we embedded one of our researchers who actually has a kind of science background within the team. We've paired her with one of the young designers in our team, and really we're looking for them to work together over the piece, and this is an additional support mechanism for that. But it's about bringing the designers, Chris, his creativity and his ideas, and to open him up to new ideas with the art school team. The other thing I think it brings to us is actually challenges us quite a bit. So as part of the work, we share obviously a lot of our strategic plans with the team. We talk through a lot of our methodologies and the way we go about our practice day to day. And it's always refreshing to, as a professional, stand in front of young people and explain what you do, and then to be really put under the microscope on that. And it's good because it reassures us that we're doing some things well, and it also pushes us to see whether it's around messaging and some of the stuff that we're doing. It's helped us clarify some of the messages that we're taking out. But also it's pushed us in our professional capacities. It's about how we drive and change and deliver our process and what working with the community is all about. And it kind of influences where we go, and where I think the benefit to us in terms of the public perception of how CCI works. We want to change the relationship with citizens and the council and the way the city is designed. We want to properly co-design with people and not the traditional sort of consultation model. It's about actually going out and working with citizens as part of a team. And how we've used the programme to help us with that is, it's a new idea. It's a new way of working for many. And when you go out and have these conversations, quite often it's difficult for people to understand and grasp what it is you're actually trying to talk about. I think also councils across the board, not just in Glasgow, do a lot of sort of engagement work. They do a lot of consultation work, and there's a wee bit maybe of apathy around that as to, what is the point of me taking part in this? I've heard all this before. We've used the programme to try and change that by teaming up with people that we're looking to actively work with or are currently working with the team. So when they are testing out their engagement tools, their new ideas, their way of working, it's done in a context that the people coming to the table, while they are citizens, they're citizens that we've picked strategically to an extent. And the reason for doing that is not to handpick them so that it fits, but it's actually to help develop our work. We passionately believe that this way of working is going to change the city for the better and for the good of all.
I think one of the key challenges for the student graduate team, particularly in phase 2 of the project, where they are engaging with citizens, key stakeholders in the project, is being able to translate their academic research into public-facing language. And I think that's something that is a really it's a challenging skill to craft, and I think this project kind of demands that of the student graduate team, particularly around the deliverables at the end, and particularly for this year. In light of COVID-19, we're having a digital platform that will be public facing. So I think that's a really kind of great challenge for the students to take forward and use, useful skills for their careers.
Just to build on what Stevie and Marianne have said about design language and storytelling, I hope it shows public audiences the power of design to actually engage people. Traditionally, design was perhaps regarded as something that was used for aesthetic purposes or to style consumer goods in different ways. And I think a lot of what we teach within product design and design innovation is actually the power of design thinking, but also design making. And in the case of this project, it's future making. And that's a collaborative practice that involves us as designers and design professionals and design academics, but also, as Marianne and Stevie have said, the public. So I think, it's a kind of self-reflective and kind of journey of building design confidence for the students and the graduates that are involved in this project, because they work in real time with each other and with the public. So they get to see how citizens or community organisations react and respond to the stories that they're prototyping through a kind of designing in action practice. So I think it creates this kind of mutual awareness. It's not just for the public, but it's also for the students and graduates to see the value of how they think about the future, how they make that future tangible, and the power of good co-design. Yeah, so after 2 years now worth of collaboration, we've got a really strong relationship between the two organisations. So first and foremost, I'm keen to lead the development of this partnership between the Centre for Civic Innovation and the Innovation School. That's important and exciting to me to cultivate and develop. And it would be nice actually to continue working together at other points in the year, other than just for this 4 months. So, we now know so much about what each other does. It would be nice to invite each other more into what we do. So yeah, I think because we've kind of played around with what the conditions and characteristics of good collaboration are for both of us, it allows us to perhaps embark on a slightly more ambitious or larger scale collaboration. And that might be within the Collaborative Futures project, or it might be out with. So watch this space.
It's made us all better communicators, I think, because we have to be, due to the kind of synchronous and asynchronous nature of the collaboration that's been taking place with the team. Everyone's been working remotely. Some of our team members haven't even been in Glasgow. So I think that's been quite exciting, I suppose, from a pedagogical point of view for Kirsty and I to observe that, and also for us to listen to the students' reflections on that. I'm quite excited about the role of technology going forward in this project, how we can future-proof our methodologies. I know, hopefully post-pandemic, we will be able to engage with people and engage with our students face-to-face. But I think technology has been a real kind of, well, it's sort of forced us, to communicate more with each other. And I think even simple devices around kind of technologies for transcribing our 3-hour reflective conversations very, very quickly has been really valuable for us and for the students as ways of capturing those insights. So yeah, I think it's forced us to be more reflective and communicate more.
And I think for me, it's one of the learnings to take on that next year. Hopefully we are allowed to be in the same room and where life is kind of back to normal. But for me, one of the iterations of the programme would be, if we get 2 guys embedded in the team next year, that if they are based in the art school, we should look for them to be up working in the studio with the team, and vice versa, they would be welcome at our place as well. I think that really helped the collaborative process and the design process. I think in terms of where I would like the programme to go, I agree completely with Marianne. I think one of the bits I'm really looking forward to is the kind of debrief bit, and the way, because the development process that we put in place for this year worked really, really well, and I'm excited to open that up, because I think one of the additional things that we now have compared to last year is we've got a much stronger group of practitioners who've supported the programme. So, you know, Zoe's come in and done a brilliant job, Michael's done some stuff, we've got guys at our end as well. And I think bringing them into the process to help us, you know, evaluate what was good, what could be better would be good. And I think also, obviously, the guys that are speaking to the students and building on that. From our perspective, I think the programme works really well now. We've got a lot of the things that we wanted from it. It's influencing our work, it's plugged into what we do. I think that the Kirsty and Marianne, I think, have worked really hard to make sure that the team are focused on the brief all the time and that they're reflecting back to us all the time. I've certainly spoken to the team far more than I did previously, but it's not to control things. They're coming with ideas, they're sound checking it, and they're building on it. Sometimes they take notice of what I say, sometimes they don't, very much like my own team. And it's been really good, really strong. And I think that's sitting really nicely for us. So I would like a lot of the elements to remain. And I'm excited to see how the students advise us to change it. What's worked well for them, what hasn't. You know, how could, if they need more professional time, if they need more support, and experiencing what professional design life is like, then we would be open to, you know, expanding their access to our work and the team and stuff like that. If they want less of that, then also we would look at that. But I'm interested from their perspective. I think as the client, I think we are delighted with where the programme now is, and we're just excited for the future rather than looking to change anything dramatically. But, you know, it's an iterative thing and it will always get better.
And just to mirror what Marianne and Stevie said about the project itself and the potential next iteration, yeah, I agree. I hope we have emerged from into a post-COVID context that allows us to become even more porous and participatory and push the pedagogical aspect of the project. So it would be wonderful for the CCI team to come into GSA Studio and work with us, and for our students and graduates to come into your world and be a part of that and actually create this real, tangible hybrid studio practice, which, as Marianne said, we definitely began to establish through online and digital and physical and remote collaboration out of necessity. But out of that necessity emerged real innovation. And certainly for me as the project lead, I'll never look back now. That's something I would build into the project moving forward. I think that was the mobility and the flexibility and actually the resilience of that hybrid design practice was really pioneering and something that's worth us pursuing together in the future.